Thank you, Greg. Hello, everybody. And I certainly hope you will agree that we're living up to our most valued company award that we got a year ago. So I'll dive in and I'll go fairly quickly so we have time for questions. Just a quick reminder about a little background on me. I've had multiple exits, including two unicorns, elite athlete, and also about 20 years ago, I wrote this book, The Clean Power Revolution. Please don't buy it. It'll put you right to sleep. But in the book, I do talk about how to build, or that we need to build 270 new transmission lines to unlock cheap solar and wind power. We all know the grid needs to be upgraded. American Society of Civil Engineers gave us a C- grade. $20 trillion is the opportunity to upgrade the grid for the energy transition, so huge market. The reason I really got into it is I felt pain for decades of not being able to build solar and wind farms, and the ones we did build, we had to downsize, and that's because of this statistic in blue here. 80%, or 4 out of 5, proposed solar and wind projects never get built. They're abandoned or canceled, and that's after spending 3 years and anywhere from $500,000 to $2 or $3 million or more on trying to get it done, and that's because you do your studies with the grid operator, and then they come back and there's no capacity on the lines, or the upgrade costs are too high because of our antiquated grid. So this problem, our grid, is the biggest impediment to the growth of clean, renewable, and low-cost energy. We all know that overhead lines are causing fires in Canada, Oregon, Washington, California, Colorado, Australia, other places, even Texas. They're causing fires in Texas now, overhead lines are. If we put the lines underground, they're 9 times more reliable, but and also 10 times fewer truck rolls, by the way. And this is from U.S. utility data, but they're up to 7 to 20 times more expensive to do that. But that's no excuse. Check out Europe. Their grid is 80% underground. Most people wouldn't guess that the U.S. and Canada is 10 times worse. A lot of work to do. I'll show a quick video here of our technology in action. This is a prototype that we built almost 4 years ago now.
So imagine a robot with 10 lightsabers on the front, just kind of vaporizing through all the rock and soil, and then a Mandalorian jetpack on the back, blowing out all the little bits of rock, like cornflake-sized bits of rock, and it can go so fast and so much cheaper than anything else out there. It's the power grid, transmission lines, it's our water pipe.
Oops, sorry about that.
Lines, fiber. There's so many communities that don't have access to high-speed bandwidth.
So that prototype, as I said, was a while back. Last year, we built, in the upper left, you see this excavator, Caterpillar excavator with a plasma torch on it. So an excavator doesn't dig tunnels or bore tunnels. Instead, it'll dig ditches or carve out caverns or caves for ground vaults where you can do your splices of power, fiber, water, whatever, or dig out a cave for an underground substation or subway station or whatever. What's exciting is that just last month, we added a second torch to that. You see it in the lower right-hand corner blasting through, that's limestone. We've gone through limestone and granite. And one of the biggest unknowns that we've achieved since our last round, and since we won the award at the Keiretsu Forum there, is a known unknown. The most significant one is, what's the synergy of adding a second torch? 1 plus 1, is it 2? Is it 2.2? Is it 2.5? And we kind of thought the modeling that we'd done, we kind of thought it'd be more than that, but the data has come back after multiple tests over the last several weeks, and it's anywhere between 3.8 and 4.3, which is very exciting for us, meaning, 1 plus 1 is 3.8. So there's a ton of synergy of having 2 torches at once. So the team may not sound like much, but it's a big deal. The team's very excited. We're building a 6-torch, in addition to that 2-torch excavator, we have a 6-torch tunnel boring machine that we're building. All of the major components arrived over the last month or so, and we're assembling that. Should be ready for testing next month. So we've spent the money wisely that we raised last year, and again, have this the 2-torch machine, and that's making money. Made about $500,000 last year. We expect it to make between $1 and $2 million at least this year, up to $4 million. And then the tunnel boring robot as well. We're up to 10 times faster, up to 10 times lower cost and 100 times faster on boring, and also faster on permitting. Instead of taking the average of 15 years to get a new transmission line approved and built in this country, because nobody wants it, everybody fights it, the NIMBYs and the bananas will fight it. We think by going underground, we can do it in 1 to 3 years. Here's another traction event. We completed this test tunnel, 2.5 meter diameter, 8-foot tunnel. And we did that in about 30 hours of torching. We removed 40 cubic meters of gray whack, which is harder than granite. Market's huge. We already talked about that a bit. I'll just move quickly here. A lot of you have seen the cornflakes. We're turning granite into cornflakes. You see that there, and the fact that our tunnel geometry is not a circle like everybody else. We're arranging our torches in a Roman arch shape, which gives us more usable space for multiple utility racks and or transportation tunnels that are larger. A lot of customers you see here on the left that we're talking to, some signed contracts, and we have over $4 billion now in our HubSpot sales pipeline of signed LOIs, MOUs, and customer negotiations going on. And as you might know, we closed a $7 billion joint venture deal last fall. That should start providing cash flow to us by the end of the summer or early fall. Super excited about that. So this is probably the last opportunity to come in and invest. We're doing a seed extension round. Last traction event, and we'll wrap, is that we are now approved as a utility in 46 states. So all the states there in dark green. By the way, that $7 billion joint venture deal with a large global infrastructure fund will fund tunnels across all these red lines that you see here. So coast to coast, pretty exciting. And then we also just heard that they want to bore one from San Diego all the way to Seattle and up to Vancouver. And then a couple of other north-south laterals are now added to that budget. Great team, I think you know about that. Some more pictures of the test tunnel in the side of the cliff here, about 5 minutes from where I'm sitting in the San Francisco Bay Area. So the round we're opening, that have opened about a month ago, is a $10 million seed extension at $75 million pre-money. Here's the history. My family office bootstrapped the company, so my wife and I have put $13 million into the company to bootstrap it for the first 5 years. Then we raised $7 million in a seed round, 30 million, in a pre-seed, 30 million in a seed. Both were oversubscribed, and we gave a modest increase on our valuation for this round. About 5 million is already committed, so not a whole lot of time left to get in this round, but certainly would love to have more folks from Keiretsu participate. So that's it. World-changing tech. Help us change the world.